Post-vacation blahs? 3 things you can do as a manager to help your team have them a lot less. When anyone's coming back from vacation, it can be hard. You may have had time where you see friends, family, people you haven't seen in a while, and coming back can feel really overwhelming. But there's things you can do as a manager to help your team come back and be more engaged and productive. First is help your team ease back in. What I mean by that is think about your environment. If you're in a corporate environment, having practices, like having your team, block out your first day back, first half day back to just catch up on emails. Because when people come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I have like an 8 a.m. meeting, it can feel completely overwhelming. And so helping your team think through practices like that, so they're not having to spend all the time the night before getting ready, they can do it the day of and truly ease back in. For other environments, depending on their role, have them shadow someone for a while, work with a colleague that they haven't worked with as much before. Do things like that to help it feel less of a chore to be coming in and expected to hit the ground running when you've come back from just recharging. 2 is to make it more enjoyable. What I mean by that is when people are coming back, they may dread what's happening. And when people take vacation, they have really varying approaches of how they want to talk about it. Some people are like, I'll show you my vacation pics. Other people are like, I don't talk about my personal life outside of work. But so talking to your team members and saying, when you come back and our first team member, have a session like best week ever, where you talk about things you did on vacation and highlight those as much as you want or as little as you want. But also having other team members talk about what happened and making it like you'll never believe what happened and talk about things and have team members talk about something they did over the last week. This can help show the collaboration, some camaraderie, but also it can help those team members talk about things they've gone through and have other people chip in with their ideas. Like, oh, I had this negotiation with somebody, or oh, I had to deal with a customer or someone this way. So talking about it and having those so that person feels like everything wasn't just left out without them during the week, and they can also know, glad I had my vacation, and it's all right to be back. The third is to help people individually understand what happened when they were out. So before you go out, it's always helpful to have the coverage plan. What people are going to be helping out. As a manager, are you helping out? What's waiting? So are you telling other leaders, like, hey, this person's going to be out, so they'll be back the week of whatever. But especially when you have coverage with colleagues, don't just think about having coverage in advance and when they're out, but part of it is coming back because it can feel really frustrating for people to come back from vacation. They're reaching out, putting work in, trying to catch up on things, and people say like, oh no, this person handled it last week. And so thinking about that and talking as a team, if you're covering for someone, if it's an email, CCing them an email so they know what's happening, or have meetings for that person to talk with whoever was covering for them, to talk about what happened so they can know, okay, this is what went down, this is what I need to take back up on. So people can have that time built in. Because otherwise, what happens is your team's coming back, they're feeling overwhelmed because they think all these things are going to happen. They can feel really alone, like they're the ones that have to figure out what's been going on. So instead, if you talk about it more as a team, have that planned coverage, and then have time built out. Okay, if you're ever covering for someone, like again, if it's just a one-off thing, just CC them, make sure that they know it's covered. But on the other end, if you're helping out for a few different things, just set up a 30-minute meeting so you can talk about them and knock them out and know what happened so you're not trying to chase or double up on the work. Those are 3 things that you can do as a manager to help your team go from having blahs to, okay, there's some good stuff about being back.